everybody. This just arrived and it is called the KIAS slider. I'm going to call it the KIAS V1 because when we get done talking about this one, in the next video we'll talk about the KIAS V2, which has 3 levels and is constructed quite differently. This is what I would call a 2-track ball slider. I have 3 balls in each side. That at least gives you 1, 2, 3 clicks. And the unusual thing about this slider is that it has these tracks, these exterior tracks, which really aren't necessary because it's already a track slider in the sense that the balls follow the track and that keeps it in line and everything. But this has the top part fits down into, let me see if I can get a good side view for you. You see the top part sits down into the bottom part. But like I said, the tracks keep it in line, so it does help. But I'm wondering, I'm trying to figure out what the design intent is for this, because it's not really necessary when you have the balls in. I started to think, well, maybe it's because on a 3-click ball slider, they're constructed slightly different than a 2-click ball slider. Meaning that, for example, this is a similar 2-track ball slider, and it'll give you 3 clicks depending on how many balls you have in it. I have what I would consider the minimal amount in there. Any less and it would just really dangle off the end. One of the problems with these is when they get out there, they get kind of overextended, and they get kind of, it's risky. It could pop apart on you fairly easy. And that's what I thought maybe their intent was to try to help solve that. But that's still an issue here. So that's probably not it. The other thing would be, if the only thing I could think of was if you take out the balls, will it work? And you're thinking it should, as long as, depends on what the bearing surfaces are. It's hard to tell until you do it. But it turns out it works really well. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get 4 clicks out of it, but then you're kind of dangling on the edge. But still, the fact that it has tracks helps keep it guided. So as a tracked slider, which is like one step above a free-floating slider, so it's a tracked slider now, it works really well. And those 2 sides help keep it in line so that it's not wiggly and everything. Then I started to wonder, well, what parts are actually touching? Are the middle parts coming into contact with each other? Or did they do something interesting maybe and like take the weight or the all those pressures and forces off of this middle part and spread it out instead across these 2 outer pieces? But when I look at it, I hold it up to the light. I can't really demonstrate it for you here, I don't think, but when you can get a strong light behind it, you can see that it's not resting on these exterior walls. So it is taking all of the weight. The surfaces that are touching are these surfaces on the inside where the magnets are. The magnets are just slightly below that surface. So it is very, very nice in that mode. In fact, I would prefer probably to use it in this mode over the balls. But that's the mystery, I think, behind that. And like I said, I'll talk about this one next. And it looks like a tracked ball slider, and it is, but it's a little complicated. We'll talk about that later. So, yeah, let's pop apart on you just occasionally. The one issue I had about this, now that we know that that's the 2 bearing surfaces are going to be this surface is, like I said, I think maybe in my first take of this video, maybe I didn't say it on this video yet, but I did see one of these for sale just recently here on the buy sell trade on Facebook, and it was a version of this in titanium. Really great price too. I wish I'd have seen it before I bought this. But and it's from a guy I know in Canada that does a really good deal for you too. So but it started making me think, if those are titanium, again, just like this one, if you watch my last video, this is stainless, but you can get it in titanium. And the unusual thing is for something like this to be available in titanium, because titanium against titanium doesn't work really well. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It all depends on the design, and I'd have to see it myself. But usually you wouldn't want to have titanium rubbing against titanium. That's of course if the balls are out, and if this is acting as a just a track slider. So let's do some measurements and comparisons here. I've already talked way too long. About 97 grams. We have a width of 25 millimeters, thickness of, well, that's between 13 and 14, and a height of 49, between 49 and 50. And to compare it with something most of us have or are familiar with, the CP3, Mackie CP3. So it's a little taller than the Mackie CP3. It is a little thicker and a little bit wider. So we can also compare it with this, is the pig nose slider. It is a little bit taller than the pig nose, a little bit thinner, and approximately the same width. So there you have it. We'll call this the KIAS V2 or the KIAS Candy. Sorry, not V2. The KIAS V1 or the KIAS V1 Candy. Maybe it's because it looks like candy. I don't know. Like I said, the packaging came with some weird candy-shaped container. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, and stay tuned for the V2. Thanks for watching. Bye.